Well, hello and welcome. It's another day and another docs by our friend Katie Joy. We just don't, well, she doesn't seem to learn. The rest of us, we know how not to dox. But unfortunately, I guess when you want to stay as the person that you need to show that you're the person that knows all the information, well, you're going to have to just make sure that you're first. So hello to everybody and welcome. Your neighbor asking what the stupid lady did now. Hello, Villanova. Hello, bite me. So I'm going to start with some boring stuff first, and then we'll get into Twitter and we'll get into Instagram, and then we will watch the Instagram live. But then we have to, she actually did a premiere, and that's where the doxing occurred. And I actually have an original shot of what she showed, and then I've gone and redacted it. So I just, I went through it and I redacted it. But first of all, isn't that one of her titles, Queen, Father, Queen? Oh, she's the Queen of Dox. And she says in her Instagram live, she's got to redact the information so she doesn't dox anybody, and she goes and doxes it. I think putting an alleged offender of SA, putting their address on the screen would count as a dox, in my opinion. This is something that has got me interested. Let me just show you. This, vision impaired golfers to tee off in South Australia ahead of the National Blind Golf Tournament. It always fascinates me that people who are visually impaired are so amazing at sports. She did what? Says totally clueless. Exactly. So the first blind golf tournament in more than 20 years is back being played in Adelaide. 17 vision impaired golfers from Australia are participating, and one of the players said blind sport opened up a whole new world for him. As I said, I just find it amazing. So this guy takes his guide dog with him around, and it's fun. It's fantastic. When I lost my sight, I thought that's my world gone, and then I heard about blind golf. So it says, we give each other a lot of carrot or stick. If one guy tees off and he's also a blind fella, I'll just pipe up and say, mate, just keep your head down. I'll watch the ball. They have what a great sense of humor. So it says blind golf is played the same way with the same equipment as mainstream golf, but with two exceptions. Players can touch hazards like sand in bunkers with their clubs, and they rely on working in a team with their caddy. So internationally, blind golf is divided into 3 sight categories from B3, which includes players who have partial sight, to B1, who are totally blind. So this golfer here, he's a B2 classified player, is in a team with his wife Eileen, and she guides him through the course and acts as his eyes. So I find it absolutely amazing. So it's resurging again. Blind golf was found in 1993, but folded 16 years later, and so they've just started to play again. So as I said, I find it really amazing, and I really wanted to start off this evening with a really cool, positive, good news story. Sarah says, I know this too well. We learn to compensate. Yes, you do. I know that there's a blind cricket, and I know that the ball has a rattle in it or something, and they can hear where it is. It's got like a whistle. But anyway, that's blind golf for you. My friend does blind golf here in WA. Wow, Sammy J. Hello, how are you? Yes, it's pretty amazing. I just am mesmerized by it. All right. So I jumped horses legally blind for 20 years. Wow, Sarah loves donuts. That is amazing. See, I just find that absolutely amazing. And, and I'm speechless, which I don't become very often because, wow. You rely on a lot of trust. I do know somebody who was an Australian Paralympic cycling coach, and he was dealing with people with no sight, and they have to have the two-seater bike, and they have to work as a team. It relies a lot on teamwork. So this is interesting. This has popped up today. Investigation into Trump organization now in a criminal capacity, New York Attorney General says. So the New York Attorney General's office has said it's opened a criminal investigation into former US President Donald Trump. Into his company, going beyond what began as a civil probe. So they're now investigating the Trump organization. Investigators have been probing whether the company falsely reported property values, secure loans, and obtained benefits. They're also investigating. They've been investigating Trump's pre-presidency businesses dealings for a while, and they have said they've looked in to see if the investigations are politically motivated. So there you go. And I think the one more story. This one's a pretty sad one. Spain deploys military to Morocco border as tensions rise in Ceuta over migrant crisis. There have been migrants coming from the Morocco border. They've had 8,000 migrants who have jumped fences or swum to European soil in the past 2 days. Spanish soldiers have expelled nearly half the migrants. Spain has had to send additional soldiers. They've sent 4,000 back home. Soldiers separated adults from young children and carried children in their arms while Red Cross workers helped the endless trickle of migrants who are emerging from the water shivering and exhausted. One unconscious woman lay on the sand before she was carried away on a stretcher. Associated Press reporters saw Spanish military personnel and police officers ushering both adults and children through a gate to a border fence. Some tried to resist but were pushed and chased by soldiers who used baton to hasten them. By Tuesday afternoon, nearly 8,000 sea-soaked people had crossed the border into the city early Monday, the Spanish government said, also including 2,000 teenagers. So he said Moroccan authorities advised migrants just crossing to Spain and stay there. Wow. One of the migrants, 26-year-old Moroccan, used to enter Ceuta daily to work, has been cut off from his income since the pandemic and the border restrictions began. So, yeah, many arriving Tuesday were sub-Saharan Africans who often migrate to flee poverty or violence at home. Spain has agreement to return some of the migrants to their native countries, but not all of them. Meanwhile, the residents are protesting against the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez's government gathering in front of the official delegation building, chanting, Ceuta was not for sale. I apologise that I've made a big mess up of how all of these cities like that. But look, one young man drowned and dozens were treated for hypothermia or small injuries adding that it was performing coronavirus tests on the new arrivals. Whoops, my daughter's just ringing me. I'm going to have a slight adjournment. My daughter's actually been stuck. My daughter's actually stuck, and I've got to go pick her up. I'll be about 10 minutes. Are you all able to wait? I don't want to stop this stream and start a new one. Are you guys happy to wait for 10 minutes while I go and pick her up? All right. So I'll be back soon. All right. I was going to say Rick's in charge. Make sure that you keep. Yeah. So if you need to get have a break or something, now's the time to do it. When I get back, we'll come into Katie Joy's Instagram live. So I'll be back.
Okay, I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm currently in my car. Hello? I hope you can hear me. Yeah, so I'm in my car, so I thought I'd just talk while I was driving for a little bit, and then, and like it suddenly dawned on me, I'll still talk to you while I'm driving. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm nearly at the now for some reason, because we live, we always say, because we live on the western side of the city, we have all the bad services, and and they always cut our trains off and everything first. So I'll have to mute in a minute, just to speak to my daughter, and then I'll talk back to you. So I'm nearly there, and then I just have to find her. But I drive by Joe. Yes, Osbel. You're going for a drive. Yeah, it's not very far drive. Not a very exciting drive. Oh, there she is. I can see her. All right, I'll be with you back again in a minute. Okay, so we're on our way back home. So I told you it wasn't going to be a long trip. We're on. Hello, sweetie. Yeah. Oh, Sarah Love Donuts, there's a travel channel now. Yeah, well, it's just a shame I can't hook you up and you can see what I can see, which isn't very much. When it's dark, because it's night time. And yeah, this is going to be very interesting live. Although I'd be interested to see how you all would feel with me sitting in the right-hand side of the car and driving on the left side of the road, because it's the opposite from many of you. You have to say my car sounds like it runs well. Well, it should. It costs me a lot. And I forgot that you can hear all of that. I've got to remember not to burst into singing like I do sometimes when I'm driving. And yeah. She's driving on the wrong side. You appreciate these as turn signals? Yeah, well, not everybody uses turn signals properly in Australia either. Yeah. And I've also got to remember I can't do road rage. I can't yell at drivers either. I'm on my best behaviour today. So I have a manual car, or as some of it, or as you would say, a shift stick. My car has a clutch. So did anybody see the Instagram live and how all the fact that the Preacher Boy podcast joined in and all of that? Did anybody see any of that? Because I have to say it was quite interesting. Jennifer, you saw it? Princess Jack didn't. Well, you'll get to it. I have to say that I really was impressed by the preacher boy. Well, first of all, he grew up and in that cult, and so he's really well versed on. But he said he left and then he went back. So he, more than anybody, knows how hard it is to actually get out of that. And he was very empathetic. Said that he totally understands. He actually treats lots of people that he speaks to that are still there with empathy because he knows what it's like. Okay, so I've just got home. So I'm going to mute again and I'm going to race upstairs and I'll be back with you in a few moments. Okay, see you shortly. The Preacher Boy podcast is his name.